Alright, welcome back to another episode of Grace Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last episode, we finished off the trial, and now we're gonna head to the first part of the investigation of episode 5, so let's start. The Hound of the Baskervilles. The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story.
来たぞ。ホームズの鋭い声が濃い霧の壁の向こうから聞こえてきた。私は霧のまとわりつく拳銃の撃鉄を起こして息を潜めて待った。永遠とも思える静寂、そしてその瞬間は突然訪れた。霧の中から見たこともない巨大な獣が私の目の前に躍り出たのだ。それは確かに犬だった。しかし明らかに尋常ではなかった。目はこうこうと燃え上がり、猛牛ほどもある体躯に獰猛な青白い炎をまとっている。血を這うような息遣いとうなり声、私はあまりの恐怖に震え上がった。見たまえワトソン、ホームズは魔獣を見据えて言い放った。こいつこそバスカビル家に代々語り継がれる伝説の魔剣なのだ。
So we're dealing with a hound this time? I want to see more to it. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country. I can't speak for myself right now. And in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. 15th of April, 9:13 a.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. And so this is our office. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy, but after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san? Yes! Is it time for to leave for court already? Let me see, what case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholm's suite? Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in the fighting fit form. Let me see, what case is it today? Here we go again. See what we have ourselves. That spade in here has been in here since we started renting the place. That's not a spade, Naruhodo-san, it's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. I don't want to dig a hole for myself, so let's leave it. It's spring at last, and the weather is warmer now. I love the smell of the fire and the steam rising from the kettle. Oh, would you like some tea, Naruhodo-san? Thank you, Susato-san, but I'm alright for now. The green tea Susato-san makes from time to time, and Iris' unique herbal infusions. This place is paradise for a true tea lover. Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think? We've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already. You could tidy up once in a while. Sato-san, I always say, Making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. And time spent tidying up is time you can't devote to the same cause. And time spent on ridiculous arguments is the time you could be better spent on some simple housework. She wins, but I'm supposed to be the lawyer here. So this is the tea set that Susato-san brought with her from Japan. Let's hope she hasn't noticed me slipping sugar and milk into my cup when she makes it. It's just so bitter. Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Naruhodo-san. You really don't have to force yourself to drink it, you know? I don't like to see you screw up your face so. Investigated thoroughly, but can't find anything out of place. Ah, the Daruma doll I brought with me from home. Still only one eye colored in. I said I colored the other eyes once I won my first court case here in Britain, but you have one, haven't you? Twice, in fact. Because I feel as though I'm still lacking as a lawyer. I'll tell you what, why don't you color the other eye in once you think I'm a proper, fully fledged lawyer? If you insist. Ah, this must be the telegram. Let's see. Ah, no, you mustn't look at that. Under any circumstances. Alright, I won't. I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san, but you can be very mischievous at times. And put the telegram away if you don't want people looking at it. We were rather lucky to find that old aquarium left behind here. The prawns we put in there are doing rather well, and the anemones too. It's a wonderful invention, isn't it? The sea behind glass inside your room? Another great example of Great Britain's greatness. Having to clean it out and change the water isn't so great though, is it? You know, I've never been inside your room there, Susato-san. I never even peeped inside. I should think so, too. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know? Whatever you say, young maiden. Alright. Let's talk to you. So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. I can literally see it right there. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that? Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing. Nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. Ahem. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now that she's tried to fail to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. Seki-san. I suppose the Seki-san will have to be arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean that he should have completed the voyage already, or just be a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him, do you remember? Complaining of seasickness? But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Saseki-san if he had stayed in London, that's all. You mean, as regards Lord Von Zeeks, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. The Reaper. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be safe from the Reaper, right? Like the way the nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Saseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's a little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. Or foreboding. The legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Von Zeeks hasn't appeared in court once since our last... Really? Oh. Yes, since Osaki-san's trial, he's been withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just me who had to face him in his recent spate of trials, then? Just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Alright, let's move then. Alright, what is Shom and Iris up to? Shom's suite. Morning, Uno. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Iris. Oh, what is it, Bruno? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. I hear it too. Ah, yes. You noticed that, did you? Hurley's in the best form this morning, it seems. Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Good morning. What is that face? Good morning to die, perhaps. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytic mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanche existence! That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. Meow. Ooh, cat. Yay. Oh look, it's Wagahai. Good morning, boy. That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. How did it get there? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. It would indeed be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. The fire's burning comfortably in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow. Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting. Is that supposed to mean something to me? The woman? I don't get it. These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think he'd be involved in my case. I wonder if the beefsteak from La Carnival would be in display here. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Ah, what an interesting collection. Looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me, rather like what's on my own shelves. Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo. No favoritism there at all. Wagahai. Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled into his new home then. Oh yes, I've become very attached to this little waggy. It would appear his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their muse as empty as hearts of the muses. Aw. Mr. Natsume has no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan. I wonder what kept him in the first place. I expect he would take him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind. Because Waggy is adorable. She is adorable. Or yes, he really is. Oh yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, you noticed? You are observant, Nuno. Look, I used this. It's my latest invention. What did you create this time? What is that? I call it the cat flamet. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right. I can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. And it can do any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cats flap anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the door in our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Hee hee hee. Is that it? I guess that's it. Iris' beautiful tea sits there on the table as usual. A cup of one of her special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain. The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it, the essence of tea. The essence of tea. This is where Iris notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? Ah, the Boscombe Valley Mystery. Oh, how intriguing. It must be the title of Iris' latest work. Oh my, I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us. Sato-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you can imagine. That's a charming little white shelf. It's full of charming little bottles too, but the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems. Science is the future, Mr. Naruhodo. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so that I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well. Law, chemistry, takedown, throws? What diverse skills you boast, Mr. Sato. As useful as they are, I'm not sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris do much writing recently, but there's a paper already set up in the typewriter. Look, as if she's about to start. That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris is in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed. Yes, Mr. Natsume. That's what I'll be doing too, once I come back in Japan, he said through tightly clenched fists and teeth. Looks like the huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems like the very sturdy or equally sturdy lock. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. How did you come to that conclusion? I don't open things from the first thing I see, right? It's all sorts of sorts on these shelves, chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that a whole lot was going to topple at any moment. Oh, it's such a charmingly untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it? It just looks messy to me, like my desk. But you, Mr. Naruhodo, must learn to tidy up after yourself. No favoritism there, then? Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk, it's completely clear. Isn't that enormous machine usually on it? We can never hope to understand what goes in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite. That's scarily plausible, actually. I mean, that'd be like him, I guess. Alright. Alright, let's talk to Sholmes. He looks so depressed, wanting to die. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? It used to be the case that's in my hands. This violin sung like a dawn chorus. Its melodic tones would make flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I have bowed, for days even, through the night that I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No recitals of unbridled emotion. Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't you worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day, they bestow genius on a man, the next day unmercifully withdraw it. Oh, dear. Ugh. Why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for my violin for me, what is left? For pity's sake, what is left? Deduction, perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today. Ah, well done, Mrs. Sato. Your observant skills do you credit. Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes, they pale into insignificance when compared to yours. You struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windybank's now. Sorry, at Windybank? No, Windybank's. The pawnbroker. Pawn? What? You mean you pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly. But isn't that a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. Can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? It doesn't sound so ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh? What's to understand exactly? How pawnbroking works. What do you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? And to the people of London, pawnbrokers are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker, of course. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturday, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea this has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at the Windybanks, you see. A pawnbroker can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? what does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Oh, what was that? Wagahai? What's going on, eh? What was that? Oh no! Wagahai's tangled up in your violin. He thinks it's a toy. No, what's he doing to it? Oh dear, Mr. Shone's precious violin. Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now? Jeez. Mr. Shones really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach if possible, maybe we should assess the damage. Where is this cat? Huh? Violin. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier, Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music to tolerate its blank existence? No. There is none. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What do you mean, Mr. Sato? Oh, Susie's right. Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. Maybe because I see one of the strings being detached. That's not odd. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What? What's this? I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Then what? Huh? I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. What? What? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you alright? You're right. You are quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this piece of string flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then? Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? This is just a simple mix-up. It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what happened if we ask her. What do you mean, mix-up? What do you mean by a mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this viola, I mean, was at Windy Banks until last week. At the pawnbroker's? Not Mr. Shone's beloved musical partner. There's a proverb from the East, with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always be a little beloved child traveled. Yes, indeed. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience some personal growth? Oh, what a wonderful idea. Last week I pawned my great analysiscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Winnebank mistakenly furnished me with this tall, dry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by this hollow timber of this piece of timber. No, but every sense was deceived by the fact that it had strings. Shaw, a fine state of affairs this is. This is what I always say, Mr. Naruhodo. Never trust a pawnbroker, they will try to fiddle you every time. Didn't you literally just explain what a pawnbroker is? Well, earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault. Come, Mr. Naruhodo, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect, freshing your coffee so obtusely? What's going on? Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct considering the urgency which we are faced? We must visit Mr. Windybank's broker at once, that's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Precisely, Mrs. Sato, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My food! I need to eat! My dear fellow, sure you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with increasingly vacant aspect, to fresh your egg ever more obtusely. Alright, say no more, let's go then. Oh, don't worry, Runo, I'll be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker looks like. Alright, let us go. Let's go to the pawnbrokery before we go to the street. '15th of April, Windybank's pawnbrokery. Who's here? So this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my, there's all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I never laid my eyes on before. Ah, Susuado-san, that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but it seems such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. We are calling on the matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging by the spark of fury in his eyes. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. You hear that brazen welcome? Oh yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo. It's time we inform Mr. Windybank of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot. Alright, first, we shall examine the area first. What are you doing, my dear fellows? We are not here to browse for interesting curios. We have to come to teach this broker a lesson. Oh, but there are just so many fascinating items. It looks as though we'll have to talk to Mr. Windybank first before we can explore in here, Mrs. Sato. Wait, I want to explore shit. No. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Oh, yes. This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windybank. The cut of the wood is different, has holes in it, it's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable for me, an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. He's gonna run? What? What? No! I shall take my own. Take my own. What? He has a gun. He has a gun to his head. No! Don't shoot. Don't shoot. I don't think that will be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Ah, yes. It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item that other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, here it is. You did? When I turned you to controvert you, you had taken the violin and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door, allowing you to leave. So I now shall grumble any grouser any longer, made this guilt die with me. No, stop, my dear fellow, the fault is mine. He's gonna shoot himself. No! Okay, he's not. Phew. It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windybank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? Haha, I do believe you may be right, sir. Ha 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 ha. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of our more challenging customers. Let me remind you of the peculiar collection of items you brought through my door in the past. Oh, how peculiar items. In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript upon this work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes or such. Oh my, a new fully fledged novel? An unpublished, a story I've yet to read, you mean? Forgive me. Wait, before you die, please tell me, you must tell me more. Why are you still saying you must die? Unpublished story. I must know more, tell me everything. Wow, Susato-san's really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see. I should entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Windybank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir, not a farthing more. It is houses of something great value indeed. The latest manuscript recounting the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. And how was that? As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? And kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life. This is all very strange. Pawnbrokery. I wonder, can I ask you something? Ah, a gentleman from the east, I see. That is the sable suit. I suppose you could offer you 6 pence for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha, for your splendid attire, man, 5 guineas, no less. Colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry is at its finest, may I say. Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I heard said that pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed, many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I praise the items that are offered a proportionate loan for 2 months of secure stowage. And if in that time you already repaid the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. But what happens if they don't pay you the money? Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me. So you never sell items before the 2 months have passed then? That's right, madam, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense for me is to end it all. The very idea, Mr. Windybank, is absurdity. One should never talk about one's demise so casually, says the man who was telling us all about a good date to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Oh, what sort of measures? I engineered a simple device which Mr. Windibank has installed here in this shop. I call it the red-handed recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windibank? Huh. What was that deep sigh about? Red-handed recorder? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are two just below the ceiling. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. Yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity for the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really, that's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter behind the door, and the door behind it, look. So you see, where someone were to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity will be summarily exposed. I have a feeling this is gonna be important. But did you not say the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madam. Then what if the incident were to occur in between times? One could only say that there would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Windibank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the films, sir. You most gracefully placed not one but two cameras in my shop, after all. It means I must pay for nigh only 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Nevertheless, a small price is to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we verge on the age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us! Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return to your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windibank. Perhaps this might be the mark, the end of the peculiar items you're trying to pop. Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be my only answer. Please don't shoot yourself, please, for the love of God. I don't want another case like this. I really think you should ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not. Sorry, I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not really what I meant. Good day to you, then, Mr. Windibank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. So, Mr. Naruhodo, we can explore at last. Yay! She's finally happy now. Alright. Start from the right side to the left. That's not a calendar you easily miss, is it? 15th April, today's date. Oh yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It's an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. A perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Windibank. And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, when the great storage period is passed without payment, the articles are forfeited, you see. I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. Oh yes, I could see you're very dedicated to your job. Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? It seems to have two little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What are you looking at is a stereoscope. A stereo? Fascinating. Is an aptly name, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself. Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me for a moment while I have just a look. Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, that is beyond you. It is of little consequence today. Alright, then I'm going to try it. Sir Naruhodo, you must see at once. Oh, alright then. Alright, I need to be cross-eyed. Look like I'm trying to look at my own nose. What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them. Why? Why do people meddling with such a black magic? You're calling this black magic? Okay. It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Oh. Well, that was useless. What an assortment of things there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine. Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn or colloquially pop an item that brokers loan you money against its worth, he stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid if not. He is free to display it in his shop for sale at the price of his choosing. Oh yes, now that you explain it, I'm noticing little price tags on everything. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend a period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform never embodies my student spirit. Three globes of gold. Is there some charm? Dear me, have you not seen a sign before? No, never. 3 golden balls are in Great Britain at least, the universal sign of pawnbrokery. There are more than several hundred such establishments in the capital, all showing the same sign. Oh, I see. Huh, I had not imagined your ignorance was so profound. Oh, well, what is the significance of the 3 golden balls then? Does it have something special meaning? That is entirely unimportant here, dear madam. Irrelevant even. You mean you don't know? Well, that's one thing down, I guess. Look at this. What could this lovely big shiny box be? That, my dear madam, is a music box. Sure you have such things in your own country. Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before. Shall we listen for a while? Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen of the larger variety commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There's a metal disc inside which the notes may be played and recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine it can be simply played. My goodness, what a simply delightful machine. Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course. Huh. Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace. Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there. Mr. Windenbank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the item he accepts. He have to be, otherwise he'd get himself all in sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. This revolver here. The gun. Do you not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow? I assure you, Mr. Winnebeck would not hesitate to draw that weapon with such a speed belying his portly side. Oh, you don't mean he'd blow his brains out, indeed, in recompense for his blunder. Oh my. But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could we even suggest it? There seems to be a little door behind that curtain there. That leads to the storage room where Mr. Winbank keeps articles currently in pawn. Ah, I see. There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend that any larcenous activity. Recommended or not, it's not something I tend to do. But there is one key, and Mr. Winbank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places into a small pot in which he slides under his pillow. How on earth do you know about that, Mr. Sholmes? I am detective, sure. It isn't my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by info that are neither care for nor wish to attain. Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder, and a prime suspect if this pawnbroker is ever burgled. Is that everything? I think that's everything. I can't seem to find anything else. Wait. I feel like I'm missing something. There has to be something I'm missing. Am I really not missing anything? I'm gonna check every single left, right, 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 left, right. I feel like I'm missing something, and I really don't want to regret it, honestly. I feel like there has to be something I'm missing. If not, then I'll just go back to this Baker Street. Yeah. Well, I guess there's nothing here. Alright, let's go to the Baker Street. Look at all the different things in the window of the shop. Ah, that's Winnebank's. The pawnbrokery. It looks much shorter than the pawnbrokers in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable, personally. Honestly, I was tearfully parting with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo. Is this... I investigate thoroughly, but can't find anything out of place. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodging here in Mr. Shone's office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this. Oh, I know. To actually be sharing an accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself in a court of law now, I will have not one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. that really it? Maybe I'm missing something. I feel like we are missing something. I don't know what. There has to be something I'm missing. I know, like, I can't progress anything further if I can't find it. I'm getting rescued thoroughly, but can't find anything out of place. Come on. There has to be something. Oh, this thing. I couldn't see this thing. Look at this, whatever could this be used for. I don't think this was ever here. Or was it there? I don't know. I have no idea. Ah. There's a small catch just here. Look. We are going to open it, aren't we? Oh my, that's amazing. Some sort of spring-loaded mechanism. Which will never manage to put back the way it was before. What are you two doing? What, us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems as a pair of little windows to look at. Drew. Feels I've seen something rather similar to this somewhere elsewhere. What? Only tuppence for it. Ain't fair, you know it. The article's barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Sounds like there's an argument between over by the counter. Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butcher's at it? I've seen all I need to see, young girl. Oh, if it ain't who I think it is. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I reckon it's Gina, isn't it? Oh yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial 2 months ago. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. I'm gonna give her a different voice from the trial, if you guys don't mind. Gordon Bennett, you lot. Hello, Mr. Straight. I hope you've been well. He's getting her gun ready. What? You remember me then, do ya? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us? Nothing to eat? Come to pop that black weasel sorry coat, have ya? What's this about? Is this about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day, unless I'm much mistaken. You wouldn't be the young pickpocket who saw our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ah, Mr. Sholmes. So you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article and I shall negotiate with Mr. Winbeck on your behalf. Pull the other one, I don't need help for some stuck-up D. Get out of my business, go on, I'll make trouble for ya. As you wish, Mr. Strayed. I will happily remove myself from your presence. Wait, what? He just disappeared! Wait, what? He just magically disappeared. He's really done it. He's gone. How did he just disappeared? I'm sorry. As I said, there's really no room for a negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? And you, go on, leave me alone. Oh, Mrs. Strayed, Just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. Sato-san can really stand her ground when she wants to. Whatever. Isn't she, like, young? Somehow, I didn't really think you were the sort of person who used a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade. Yeah, well, I am, alright. I'm a Londoner just like everyone else. Is that a problem, is it? No, not at all. It's just that, well... Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably doesn't belong to you. Probably gone the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy Chase. Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines. Probably. I don't know. You're not going to hide, Mr. Naruhodo? Alright then, I'm just going to come out and ask you straight. Do you have to pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really, Suppose, sometimes. You're not going to deny it either, Mr. Strayed. But not this time, alright? I swear, that thing belongs to me. The disc that Mr. Windibank is holding. Perhaps we should see what she has to say about all this. Alright, let's talk to him. This is Strade's disc. Mr. Windibank, what exactly is this metal disc that Mr. Strade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface. Oh, this is a music disc, you see. For use inside a music box. In a music box. What? You don't even know what a music box is? You Eastern lot aren't too savvy, eh? How many racist people are there? Why do you guys make fun of the fact I'm from Japan? I know what a music box is, I just never seen one of these discs before. The small protrusions of the metal disc encoded to tune played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going. Beautiful music plays. It's so incredible. Tell us what tune is on this disc. Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see, and British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. I see. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny. Oh, that's a packet of lies. He told me he did. He said it was well. He? Who? Never you mind, that just ain't right, that's all. That disc ain't worth good money, I know it is. Well then, you have to try your luck on other pawnbrokers, won't you? Huh. Alright, I'm gonna save. I'm already at that 1 hour mark. And I don't want to, like, go for that long, unless it's a trial. But next time on Grace Ace Attorney Chronicles, we're gonna continue part 1 of episode 5 and talk more with the pawnbroker, Windibank. I guess to see you guys all next time.